conceptual perspective to view things. People talk about a desire to be successful. All of the elements.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. It's your boy, Dr. Rick Wallace here, dropping in on you. I know that it's been a little inconsistent over the last couple of weeks as far as the morning motivational moment. This started out initially being something I was going to do on Tuesday morning, sort of hop over from one side of the fence to the other and share with you guys what I do in my life professionally as far as helping people reach their full potential and to really step out of the shadows of mediocrity and go for their dreams and do some exceptional, extraordinary and phenomenal things. And it started out with me doing that, and it grew. It grew into a need to create the Power Team, which is actually a subscription membership to people who gain a little bit more access to me than the public while not working with me on the same level as my clients. They still get access to me on a weekly basis, direct contact, Q&A sessions. And we sit down and we look at where they're at, where they're going, what they're trying to do. And I can tell you people in this group starting businesses, elevating what they're doing in their own businesses. A number of them have gone from just being in the group to actually being clients. So things have really grown and things have taken off as far as that goes. What has really pulled me away is not so much what I've done. I sort of built that around what I was doing. But as if you, most of you know, I got married in December of last year. And when I got married, I married a beautiful woman who had her own passions, who was doing her own thing. And we connected because our passions were intertwined. She's a published author, as I. She's a speaker to the public, as a public speaker. One thing I like to clear up is I'm not a motivational speaker. While it is clear, and I'm told quite often, matter of fact, when I spoke Sunday, one of the most common expressions is the energy that enters the room when you begin to speak. And that energy isn't motivation. That energy is inspiration, and there's a difference. And I want to really share that with you very briefly here. Motivation is the reason or the motive behind something you do. Almost every person out there is motivated to some level. They're motivated by the fear of not having a roof over their head. They're motivated by the strong desire to support their family. They're motivated. They have a motive for success. And they're motivated. The thing is, they're not inspired because they don't believe. They're not inspired because they've been beat up. They're not inspired because they've been conditioned to believe that where they are is their lot in life, and only a certain select few get to experience the life that they so strongly desire. My job is to break down that barrier, to show them that if they can conceive it in their mind, that that's God's proof to them that it's possible, and then to break down and show them how to accomplish that in different areas, in mental capacity, in spiritual capacity, in strategy and planning as well. And that's what I do. But I'm not a motivational speaker, but I'll take it, man. I don't fight over it, but it's a difference. I mean, I haven't ran into a person yet that came to me. You have to be motivated to come ask somebody to work with you. So it's not about motivation. It's about inspiration. It's about being introduced to possibilities that you didn't know exist. And that's what I do. But baby is also going back off into a field. She had stepped away for a while, so she's expanding her business interests. And our goal, like I said, we are in the midst of a takeover. When I say, and I'm talking about me and my wife, my family, and my extended family, Michael Jordan, Michael Blanchard, Will Blackhawk Williams, and his lovely and crazy wife, Calvis, whom I love, absolutely love to death. This is a takeover. We are business people, business-minded people. Derek Jones, the witty Tony Hogan. It's some people out there that while you look at them and you see one side of them, they're handling their business. They are expanding their visions. They are going after what life has for them. And like I said, me and baby, this is a takeover for us. This is this empire building things. We're doing something to leave something behind for the next generation. We're not leaving this world the way we found it. And so my focus has been trying to help baby get this next thing. She's going back into real estate, and I'm loving her approach. I'm loving her branding process, her ideas, her concepts, her whole approach to things. I'm looking forward to just seeing her just take over. Again, she's a published author, one of the most powerful books I've ever read. And I'm not just saying that because she's my wife. I'm saying she's my wife because of what's in that book, is what I'm saying. That's how powerful it is. When you talk about winning, when you talk about overcoming, when you talk about survival, when you talk about saying I took life's best shots and I'm still standing, that's my baby. And that's why I married her. But anyway, I've been working on that, but I'm coming back. I promise that there are going to be more consistent videos. There are going to be more things that I'm going to drop on you, because I want to see you grab a nugget and take a hold of it. And just that's what and this is what I tell anybody that comes in contact with me, because this is what I do. Anybody that comes in contact with me, I tell them, make sure you don't leave the way you came. When you walk into the room in an area or an environment and where there is someone or something that can pour into you, make it your business to take something out of that. And when a person is so apt and willing to give of themselves, and they're pouring it out like that, there should be absolutely no reason why you should leave. What I did is I found the people who were doing the things that I was passionate about. I found those that just were explosive in what they did. And then I found ways to create ways to be around them. That's just real. Okay, if I got to pay you to coach me on something, mentor me on something, okay. If I got to set up something with you for a consulting session, okay. If I got to show up to where you're speaking at, wherever, I made sure I found ways to get in their presence. Then I made it a point that once I was in their presence, I would never leave their presence without taking something with me. Then I started finding their videos. I started reading their books. Just deeply engaging what they did and who they were and where they came from. And one thing I found out is that every last one of them came from nothing. Every last one of them came from a place where they could have easily stood up and said, there's nothing out there. All I've ever saw in my life is poverty. All I've ever saw in my life is lack. All I've ever saw in my life is suffering. But they didn't do that. They sit up and they applied themselves. They started to believe in themselves. They started to read. They started to do to others what I was doing to them. They started to get in the back pocket of those who had came from nowhere and were doing great things. They started to study them, ask them questions, bleed them of their brain, bleed them of their knowledge. And that's what I was doing to them. And the funny thing is, they don't mind sharing. You can reach out and touch some people that you thought you couldn't if you just set your mind to it. See, I don't have these barriers. I don't look at anybody and think they're inaccessible until they show me that by their personality that I don't want to access them. But people will say no a bunch of times because there's only so many times they can say yes to the amount of volume that they're dealing with. But you keep putting yourself in front of a person and you keep making an impact when you put yourself in front of them. Eventually, the answer goes from no to yes. That's how life is. You keep knocking on the door until you either somebody opens or you wear it out and knock it down. Anyway, that's that. I'm going to say what I got to say. I'm going to try to get this out in about 5 minutes because I took a lot more time, but I'm excited about what's going on with me, my family, and what we have going. I'm in this place. I entered into this year in this place because there was some great and unbelievably exceptional things that I was expecting from life. And that comes from me investing in it, not me sitting up waiting on it. But there were some things I was going after and I was going to get. And that was a level of living that I was taking myself and my family to. There were some ideas and philosophies that I was going to engage. There were some people that I was going to lift up and reach down and pull up with me. I handpicked them because they are not simply people that I'm mentoring. They are my immediate periphery in my circle. I'm handpicking them and pulling them up. I am creating a mastermind group that will be a part of a dominating process of recovery for my people. I am determined on, if I can't get a group, I get a person. And if I get a person who is committed as I am, I'm going to infect that person with my passion. And then when I infect that person with my passion, I don't have to worry about it anymore. Because see, that passion, now that I infected them with, isn't contagious. Everybody they come in contact with will be infected, will be inspired, will have a change of mind, will get thirsty for knowledge. That's what this is for me. I'm going to make a difference. But anyway, first and foremost, I'm going to go through some real quick points. First and foremost, there is no such thing as perfect timing. There's no such thing as a perfect opportunity. There's no such thing as a perfect situation. That doesn't exist in life, and as long as you sit around waiting on it, you're never going to make any progress. You're never going to take action. And if you don't take action, listen to me. If you don't take action, you will never produce the results you're looking for. You can't get it by waiting. You can't get it by hoping. You can't get it by praying. That's something I shared with some youth at Holy Temple Church of God in Christ. I shared on Sunday with the youth and the adults in the church. Don't confuse prayer with action in producing results. Huge mistake. No matter what your faith is, meditation, prayer, spiritual engagement, however you want to talk about it, incantation, whatever you want to talk about it, but please don't confuse the mental engagement, the emotional engagement with the physical action. Because if you don't take action, if you don't make decisions, if you don't be decisive in what it is you're trying to do, make a decision and make a move. You can always correct. You can always adjust. But if you're sitting there waiting on something to happen, you're never going to get anywhere. But this whole perfect opportunity thing, moments come when you create them. I believe it was Earl Nightingale that said the only difference between the successful and the unsuccessful is that the successful wake up and they look for opportunities and they look for ways to make things happen. And if they don't exist, they create them. It's that simple. You create your opportunities. You make your opportunities. I was told with my first book, I'm pushing book number 17 and 18 out this year. Published 16 already, 17 and 18 out this year. And I was told book number 1, your writing is great. You have a great writing style. You have an inspirational writing style, but your non-fictional material and the demographic in which you're writing to and speaking to is not large enough to support you. Nobody's going to publish you. Okay. Like I said, there were 16 books ago with 17 and 18 coming out this year. You create a way. Hearing no to me is not an option. Either I'm going to convince the person who is saying no to say yes at some point, or I'm going to go out and find someone else to say yes, or I'm going to find a way to get it done without them. But the one thing I'm not going to do is accept no. You create your situation. Understand, again, you've got to understand how life works. The biggest thing that we have as a problem is we don't understand how life works. We see everything happening out there around us, and we've got this illusion of things just fall into place for some people and it don't fall into place for others. No, luck chances to prepare. There's no such thing as luck. Luck chances to prepare. And what that means is those people who go out and prepare day in and day out and day in and day out produce results because they are consistently placing themselves in a position to receive the energy, the opportunities and situations that are coming their way. They're placing themselves in a situation, an ideal situation, to be able to recognize opportunities when they present themselves. A bunch of you are having opportunities consistently pass you by. That is one of the problems. You've got to be able to recognize it, but you got to understand the success equation. And those are some of the things that I get into with my clients, is understanding what success means and how did you work through the equation. There are different parts of life. There's emotional, psychological, spiritual, actionable, applicable, all these different places. You can have all this mental knowledge. Knowledge is the beginning of wisdom, but it means absolutely nothing without understanding. Now, having the understanding means absolutely nothing without application, which is wisdom. That's when you take it and actually put it into action. Got a bunch of people that are awakened and have knowledge but don't know or don't have true understanding. And when you don't have understanding, you can't make proper decisions. And when you're not making proper decisions, or you're not making decisions at all, you're not making progress. Let me explain something to you. It's also about how you look at things. Greatness is not this great, big, huge thing that a few people are able to just go out and grasp. You don't just walk up one day and be great. You don't just walk up and do one thing. Greatness is not an event. And I heard my baby sister, well, not my baby sister, but one of my younger sisters talking about this in an interview on the radio last night. Yeah, my family does that. I come from people who dream. I didn't have a relationship with my father, but the one thing that I learned about him is he was a dreamer. He went out and he wouldn't work for anyone else. He was a dreamer. He created his own way. He created his own businesses. And some kind of way that was transcended to me. Now, it wasn't just him, because my great-grandparents who reared me. My grandmother owned her own beauty salon for my entire life. That was a part of it too. But the thing is, what I can tell you is greatness is this. Greatness are a bunch of little bitty things, small things, done well, done exceptionally well, day after day, moment after moment, day after day, moment after moment, over and over again, until you build greatness. It's paying attention to the details. That's how you achieve greatness. It's not letting the little things slide because they seem insignificant. It's taking passionate and pride in doing everything that you do as well as you possibly can, no matter how small it seems. That's the beginning of greatness. Focus. You got to deal with the enemy within too. I'm going to leave it with this one. The enemy within. There's an African proverb, I share this all the time, African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy on the outside can do us no harm. Just let that marinate a little bit. Let that seed get in, cultivate it, start spraying some water on it, giving it some sunshine. Think about it for a minute. The more you work on you, the more you develop yourself, the more you focus on your growth, the more you become more enlightened, more empowered, more knowledge filled with understanding, filled with wisdom, filled with focus, the more impactful you become, the more valuable you become. You don't have to worry about your earning potential when you focus on your growth. When you work on you, when you start to develop you, when you start to build you, you start to get better at what you do. You start to focus on being your best. You don't have to worry about what's going on the outside. Number one is you're going to increase your earning potential. You're going to increase your exposure. You're going to increase the expansion of your space. All of that simply by growth. You are in absolute control of your destiny. You're getting what you are. If you want to change what you're getting, change who you are. That's it for now. I love you guys. It's been great. As always, I'm on a down E, and I'm going to explain that to you in the video, what that really means. I say it a lot, but I think that it may need some clarification. I'm going to down E. I'm giving and leaving everything that was here. I'm not going to leave one book unwritten, one speech unspoken, one life untouched that was meant for me to be a part of it. I'm going to touch it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to speak it. I'm going to write it. I'm going to live it. And that's me. I'm not going to leave my potential untapped. I can't take it with me, and I'd be doggone if it's going to rest somewhere in ashes, because I'm not going to be embalmed and buried. I'm going to be cremated. That's my personal preference for spiritual reasons and for economic reasons. But this is what I'm going to tell you. There's nothing impossible for you except for what you believe to be impossible. I didn't say it was easy. I didn't say you're just going to be able to walk out there and do it. I said that if you set your heart to it, you set your mind to it, you start to believe, you make a decision to move, you make that commitment, you step out and start moving toward it. What God has done, no matter how you view God in this world, what God has done is created a universe that will respond to your faith and your actions. The universe will literally conspire to bring you the things that you desire. And if it's not, it's because you're not where you need to be. So that's on you, but you can get there. I love you guys. I'm out of here. Peace.
from a conceptual perspective, that people talk about it as out of success.